In this video, I'm going to do a brief overview and a tour of sorts of the way that I use GitLab Epics to help organize and track my career development at GitLab, and also be able to make a clear connection between the work that I'm doing in my role on the learning and development team with the career development opportunities that I'm pursuing. The goal of using an epic in this way is really to just keep track of the issues and projects that I'm working on that I believe are directly impacted by my career development projects that I do outside of work. That way, I have a clear record of the impacts and the influence that these courses or webinars or events that I'm attending and participating in have on the work that I'm doing at GitLab. So I'm first just going to show you where this information is documented on the career development page in the Learning and Development Handbook. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a section on how to use GitLab Epics to track your career development. So the first thing when I got started creating this epic is I decided to open the epic within our learning and development project at GitLab. The reason that I did it this way is because I wanted the opportunity to add related epics and issues within the same project really easily. And I find that sometimes if um, things that I'm working on are in a different project, then I have to add them in not, the most beautiful way, adding them in a comment or the description of the epic. And so by creating the epic within the learning and development project, where most, if not all of the issues that I'm working on actively are located, I'm able to very easily add related issues and epics to my professional development tracker epic. I also want to open up the opportunity if your project isn't a great place for this kind of epic to live and you need a place to do so, you are welcome to use the Learning and Development Project to do that. We actually have some team members who already have opened their own career development epics within this project. So if that's something where you're looking for a place to open it, that's fine. You could also open some sort of personal project if that worked better for you to store your epic. So I'm going to now go over to my professional development plan. So I just named it SL Professional Development Plan. And the issue description is pretty basic. I just gave it a brief purpose, and like I described at the beginning of the video, it's just a way that I'm tracking and making sure I'm making connections between the work that I'm doing and the professional development work that I am also doing. And I also put a link here to my own individual growth plan, which I am working on developing. The individual growth plan is really where I have an outline of the different courses and things that I plan on working on. So I use this Google Doc individual growth plan to kind of map those out. And then I use the professional development plan to trace it back to what I'm doing at GitLab. And so the work that I'm doing personally, I'll just go through it as an example. So on the learning and development team, my focus right now is to really increase my own training and awareness about how learning and development and team member well-being connect and what kind of opportunities I can bring to the GitLab team from a learning and development perspective that increase and influence team member well-being at GitLab. And so all of the efforts that I've been working on for the past 8 months or so that are connected to that goal of mine, I've added here as either an existing issue or an existing epic. So if I am looking back wanting to say what impact has the LinkedIn Learning courses that I've done had, or the National Wellness Institute certification that I earned had, I can really quickly see what proposals and initiatives I've implemented that are closed and that are have already made an impact here, and then also things that I'm currently working on that track back to this professional development goal. And the other way that I use this epic as well is I use it pretty often as kind of just like a notes dumping ground. If I'm attending a LinkedIn Learning course or attending a webinar, I find that using Google Docs can be helpful, but if you're like me, your Google Drive might be a little bit messy and it's sometimes hard to find notes that I've taken. And I often have like thoughts and action items after I take a LinkedIn Learning course or listen to a video or something like that, that I don't have capacity to take on right now, but something that I want to work on in the future. And so if I add my notes as a comment in a thread in this epic, I'm able to tag myself and make it show up in my GitLab to-dos, which I rely pretty heavily on. So you can see when I use it in this way, I have a link to whatever course or video that I was watching and reviewing, and then I just drop down my notes. And then again, you can see I have like an ideas section. I did this a bunch of times. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because there's an example of where I've tagged myself with a task that I want to take on at some point that is connected to this professional development epic that I have. So yeah, just a really quick recap. The professional development epic is a great way that you can track and trace the work that you're doing at GitLab back to your professional development plans and your career goals, so that when it comes time to talk to your manager about promotion or talk to your manager about what your career path looks like here at GitLab, you're pretty easily and quickly able to find some of the highest impact projects that you've worked on that align with the career goals that you have. If you have any questions about this epic and how I use it and how other team members use it, you can always reach out to the Learning and Development team in our Learning and Development Slack channel. Thanks.